Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today, what we are doing is we're doing problem set 8. And what we're going to start doing is using the area model to represent these fractions. And as you notice, these are improper fractions. So for example, we have 250 100ths, and they want us to complete the number sentence. So first what we need to do is just use our area model to show it. So I know that 250, I could break these up. So like break them up into 10 parts, and that would equal 100 because there's already 10 here. So if I broke them this way, it would be 100 little pieces. So 100 100ths, 100 here. That's still not 250. Another 100 is 200, correct? And now I need to do 50. So I'm gonna go and color in half of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 50. All right, so like I said, I had 50 here. So if I was talking about tenths, I have 10, 20, and then 5. So I have 25 tenths, okay? The next part is talking about how many ones do I have and how many tenths. So I have one whole here and one whole here, so that's 2 wholes, also known as ones. And then how many tenths? I have 5. So if I was writing this as a decimal, I have 2, and I could say 5 tenths, or technically I could say 50 hundredths. So 2 and 50 hundredths or 2 and 5 tenths is the same as 250 100ths. So what we're going to try is down here to represent them using number discs. So let's check out this first one. 2 ones equals how many tenths? So if I have 2 ones, how many tenths could that be? So for the sake of time, what I'm going to do my number discs a little different. So I have 1, 2 ones. Now because they're getting smaller, they're getting 10 times smaller, this one disc represents 10 tenths. This one represents 10 tenths. So total, 2 ones is equivalent to 20 tenths. I want you to start with 2 tenths. So we're going to draw our, did I say 2 tenths? 2 tenths. If I have 2 tenths, how many hundredths do I have? So that means we're taking this and we're moving it and making it smaller by 10. Take a second, guys, and check out what I did there. And then let's move on to 1 whole and 3 tenths. So let's start by drawing it, 1 whole and 3 tenths. So they want to know how many tenths is that. So that means we're going to take this 1 and we're going to convert it into tenths. And we know 10 tenths is equivalent to 1 whole. So we would just bring that over, right? So we have 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 tenths is equivalent to 1 and 3 tenths. I want you to try this very last one all by yourself. Pause your video and then check back with me. All right, guys. Hopefully when you went through and did this, you noticed that you had 23 hundredths because you divided by 10 here. All right, let's keep moving on to the next page. Sorry, I have to hold a flashlight. It's so dark in my office here. All right, let's check it out. So it says decompose the units to represent each number as tenths. So this is what we did in the other page, but this time we're not using number discs. So we know 1 whole is the same as 10 tenths. So how many tenths? 10 tenths. So it's the same thing we did before, except we're just taking away those number discs. So if I have 1 and 7 tenths, well, 1 is 10 tenths, and then I have 7 tenths. So 10 and 7 is 17 tenths. Why don't we try D and F? Pause your video and do D and F, and then check back with me. Take a second, ladies and gentlemen, to double check your work. D and F with me, and then we're going to move on to down here. We're going to skip 4, and we're going to move on to number 5. It says complete the chart. The first one has been done for you. So we're going to write different ways. They're going to give us the decimal. We're going to write the decimal as a mixed number. Then we're going to write it talking about how many are in the 10th place, and again, how many are in the 100th place. What you'll notice is they're all pretty similar. It's just different based on the powers of 10, based on the place value. So for example, we have 4 as our whole number. This is the ones place. And in the 10th place, I have 2 tenths. So now we're talking about, we talked about to make 4 would be 10 tenths and 10 tenths and 10 tenths and 10 tenths. So that's 40 and 2. 42 tenths. Another way you can see that is 42 over 10. Okay, so as a hundredths, it's the same as 420 hundredths. So hopefully you're noticing the pattern. It's just talking about those patterns of 10, right? Tenths, hundredths. So it's 420 100ths. I want you to go ahead and try, we'll do 8 and 4 tenths and 10 and 2 tenths. So pause your video and then come back and check. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to take a second and compare your work with my work for 8 and 4 tenths and 10 and 2 tenths, noticing, hopefully you're seeing the patterns of 10 here between the tenths and the hundredths place. Obviously the tenths place is 10 times bigger than the hundredths place, so you'll notice the difference there. When you're done here, I want you to head over to Schoology, and I believe you have one question for your exit ticket. Take your time, double check your work before you submit it, and I will see you tomorrow for our math quiz, and then we're going to talk about our end of the year project. All right, guys, have a good day.